So I thought the settlement meeting ended. So, like, what happened?
Yeah. So the justices settled, and they offered him, they basically just get some money to shut up and go away. Like, look, this is going to cost us a lot of money, just a lot of time, just to. Effectively, the justices said, you're in the wrong, but you're going to tie us up for so fucking long and hold everything up, including stopping
That makes
your career.
sense.
We'll give you $300,000 to shut up and go away. And
Fair enough.
on my end, I said no. The marshals are not going to give him a dime. The only thing we will agree to is that we will, like, literally the only thing we will give is we will delete all of the received records from his phone subpoena from our local tribes and everything like that. And then the DOJ initially offered 100,000, and he was like, "No, I want the full 900,000." I was like, "That's so you're not coming to negotiate. We were understanding you were coming here to negotiate, and by you asking for your full amount and then some is not negotiating. You were just trying to should throw your dick on the table because we're telling you you have nothing,
Right.
and we're just trying to do this in the interest of court economy. To basically just get this done and get it over with, so we can
Understandable.
and the DOJ upped their offer to $300,000. So I told the DOJ, "Hey, you're fucking pussies, and we're not moving," and they agreed to.
So
the matter settled with no fault acknowledged or anything like that. Because honestly, that would have been stupid. That would have been the stupidest thing possible. If absent any falsification or fabrication of evidence, when writing a or a subpoena or a bank or a search warrant, the people signing it should never see civil liability for it. That is the stupidest thing ever. Because otherwise, like, if that's the case, then just because no evidence was found doesn't mean that there should be civil liabilities for it. Otherwise, literally no one will ever articulate probable cause ever again.
I agree.
Now, if there was
just because you don't find something doesn't mean there wasn't any validity. There's a probable cause not to be on a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, that was his main argument. Well, you didn't find anything. You know, what's the point? You didn't find anything, so therefore it was illegitimate. I was like, no, that's not how probable cause works. He said, well, you didn't ask me anything about it. Why didn't you interrogate me? I was like, because we're gathering evidence. That this is an investigation.
I got something for you.
Mm-hmm.
I personally don't care, and I'm going to say this straight up, because I think I've given up from the idea that anyone is responsible, right? It seems like a debate not worth having. Have you seen the BCSO Blaine County account?
Not. I know that they apparently just received like several $1 million from the DOJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess as a get your shit back in order kind of thing.
What do you think about that?
I don't agree with it.
I don't think it's worth fighting
to the DOJ.
Yeah,
I don't think it's worth fighting, but I very heavily look down upon it because it looks like a personal favor. And when you take taxes, when you take fines and fees and money allocated from the people and designate it to a certain entity, the expectation is that it's to be used in the best interest of that entity. That's why we go 25% of it goes to the county, 75% of it goes to the Department of Justice. Is because the idea is that the people have said, we want this money to go to the best interest of that entity because that's what we want to support from the money incurred from those actions.
Yeah.
And I don't see a personal favor to another county. Like, I don't see that.
Do you remember what I made you guys do?
That entity.
Remember what I made you guys do?
Where we articulate everything, and it was like, hey, this is the best interest of everybody in the state.
And this was just a transfer.
Yeah, this was just a transfer of money to be able to say, hey, look, our operation is in the best interest of all entities in the state. We are currently unable to function. We need this money to function. And that way it looks like not a personal favor. Effectively, right? And that there's a way that you can speak to your people. Like, for you sending that money, you have a way to show to your people that you speak for to say, hey, this is why I gave that money. It is in our best interest. I agree. This is the reasons we did that. He requested it. I agreed to it because this is in the best interest of everybody in the state and the best interest of Los Santos County. Right?
Yeah.
Wrong?
Agreed. No, you are. That's it. No. You are saying exactly. Sorry, I was stuffing my face. That's exactly it. So for me, it's not worth it. At the end of the day, it's whatever. It's not whatever, but there's bigger problems to tackle in regards to this. I do, however, in my opinion, think at the end of the day, things need to be lined up. And I think now it's opening the door to, okay, why was it given? Where was the money actually used? Because I think, in my opinion, the DOJ just bought a warehouse.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Is we have, everyone keeps thinking, oh, well, you know, the comment field of a transfer is just enough for our liability. No, there is so much more like responsibility that goes behind managing government funds. I mean, this is money that we are taking from people because they expect us to perform on their behalf with with that money. And I'm sorry, I hold a lot more expectations of I hold a lot
our government entities that hey, I put it on myself. You know what I mean? There's a reason why I was like, I'm not just going to give you money. I need this because we have to do it right. And then to see it get done this way is kind of like, bruh. So,
I mean, I don't know. There's a reason I write a whole fucking report every time I touch our account, you know? Is it excessive? Maybe, but it's accountability.
It's important that if someone asks where money is going, we can speak to it.
Yeah.
So, with that being done, with that being said, I think I'm actually realigning myself. Actually, I need to, for the sake of everything, I'm gonna have to take a look. I think, just to know what happened exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's no. I mean, I know even like when I'm looking at those BCSO accounts, right?
Yeah.
And I've shared with you the logs, all the FOIA information. And even when they detail out, oh, this is for this part, this part, this part, this part, and this part. Here's $300,000. And it's like, okay, where's the breakdown of this stuff? Because I want to be able to, if I'm a person who has paid my taxes, and my expectations are my tax money is going to be rightfully spent in the betterment of things. Do they have a right to spend the money for that? Yeah.
I think you're going too deep because you're talking about expenditures of the county. The problem with the DOJ doing it is that it's one legislative authority paying another voting entity. That's the real issue. I'm not, right? You can garner votes that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there's also just like, it's just here's a check for whatever you want to do, and I don't. That's what I mean. It comes down to I was going into that about philosophy, right?
Yeah.
What I'm saying about the parts and all that, about what all that is. The philosophy is if I see a comment transaction that says those parts, well, I want to see an itemized list. How much did we pay for that? Are we spending that money responsibly, or are we paying $50,000 for a stage 1 anti-roll bar? You know, we don't know because they just compiled everything in this list. And it goes to the same direction. The same philosophy is what I incur on that large transfer. Where's the itemized list of what this money's being used for? We just sent them a massive amount of money, and we have no idea what it's going to be used for. For all we know, it's, oh, yeah, well, $10 million of this is going to be personal salary for the mayor.
You know what? Fuck it, Barrett. I'm paying myself $15 million this week for dealing with all this shit. What do you want?
I mean,
what do you
who
need,
can
Barrett?
stop you?
Barrett, what do you need? What do you need from me, Barrett? You know what? I heard you guys have money problems.
Nino,
you want a jet?
At this
point,
a jet? This is what everyone's expectations are. You could literally withdraw $50 million from Los Santos County account and say, this is the weekly salary of Nino Chavez for the week of this, and that's your comment. And I literally can't fight it. I literally have no fight against that. There is nothing I could do if you did that. Do you understand that?
Barrett,
With the
you want some money?
responsibilities we have, I literally can't fight it.
Well, of course you're not gonna fight it because I'm buying you a jet. My baby boy. What color do you want?
Even if I wanted to, I can't.
What color do you want? No,
you know what I'm saying? This is my part. This is my problem with this system. The way that they do it is that I have no recourse. The people have no recourse. You legitimately right now could go to Maze Bank and say,
funny.
"Hey, I need to withdraw $50 million."
No, I can't.
From the Los Santos County account.
That is untrue, though. It is untrue as a consequence of the Constitution and ACRs and impeachments existing. And so if, for example, I went and did some wild shit, right? It's still something you can conduct and impeach on. If I genuinely sent money, like, this is why I track everything, because look, as a defense attorney, I know exactly what argument would be made to go against someone. Like, if you said today, you know, where is going? I could come in and say, here's the request, here's the person, here's their account, here's their, literally, we have a filing for everything, right? Like,
yeah.
Here's their thing, here's where they, like, we make everyone receipt everything out. So I am passing liability. No, I recognize that. And I do it because I can be impeached if I didn't have it. Now, if, for example, someone else were to give an undisclosed amount of money to somebody, especially in this case. So let's say hypothetically, you get the BCSO account, right? And you would request a subpoena, reasoning out who voted to transfer the funds and what the funds were for. Right? They have to produce it, right? If they're not producing it, it's something that would, in a ACR impeachment, they would have to speak to. Why did you give the money, right? They could be like, well, they needed money for X, Y, and Z. All right, Mayor, what was the money requested for? Number one, their shit doesn't line up. Number two, you look at the funds and you're like, well, you bought a fucking castle, right? You spent, allegedly gave bonuses with the money the DOJ gave, allegedly, from what I'm hearing. Okay, why doesn't it line up, right? So you say there's nothing they can do. That's not true. The law is providing avenues. That doesn't mean that you can use those avenues to do something illicit, let alone held accountable, because impeachments and ACRs are bound, like, there is ethics involved in that, right?
Yeah, no, there is. Unfortunately, that's just been counter to the general point of view of these things. Is I can go, we're going to ACR you for issuing yourself a $1 million salary every week, but then their general consensus is, well, it's their money and it's for the interest of the county because it is the mayor and the mayor assigns their own salary. They can do what they want. Sugars, if the people don't like it, they can elect a new mayor.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, that's, I once again, I think it's more where they spend the money is less concerning than the DOJ having. I don't think it's intentional. I will say, from what I've heard from Faulkner, from what I've seen, I think he's still learning. So he doesn't necessarily go through, and I'm trying to be, I like Faulkner and Sean about, like, I mean, they've said it outright. Look, they're still learning too, right? So they came with certain backgrounds, right? And they're having to learn lessons and things that were not previously considered. A lot of things you and I have been around for a century, right? Half a century, right? So we have seen things that we, on principle of experience, know is right or wrong. So the simple act of, oh, they need money for this, you know what? Let's send it to them. It was probably an act of kindness, but there probably wasn't the logical checks of, like, how does this look like? What does it mean? Are they gonna, do they need you know what I mean? The reasons I put in the things, they may not consider, right? So what I'm saying is it may not be malicious.
It's not malicious. I don't think there's any malicious intent in that at all. It's just in comparison to people like you and me, whenever we take any action, we look at everything from every point of view. We're not looking at it just from my point of view, my people's point of view. We're also looking at, we're looking at it from everyone's point of view. You know, a Blaine County resident, a Los Angeles County resident, a criminal, a civilian, a reporter, a politician, the police department. We look at it from literally every point of view possible while we're making this analysis to figure out, hey, what is the perception here? What are the downsides, the cons? What are the goods, the bads about everything? How is this going to be perceived on every point of view? That's how me and you work, right? We look at it from every angle. And a lot of times they go, oh man, this guy's in, I mean, they just don't think that in depth, but that's the politician in you and I. You know, it's they just lack the politics view of a lot of
politics, sure, but I think also it's the not being a piece of shit. Yeah, because I mean, it's the core principle of why you take a position. It's not for your self-fulfillment. You know, which I can understand it being the case. I mean, this is why I'm running for senator.
What's that? We don't have a senator.
Well, not yet.
You running for governor?
You know, I should ask. Like, when you retiring?
I mean, it'd be better to have a state governor.
Deputy governor. There you go. Oh man, now that would be a fucking star, wouldn't it? No. You know why I wouldn't take it?
Why?
I mean, you know, who knows when the next shit's gonna drop? You know what I mean? I don't want to be the lore reason why the city fell over.
No, that's the best way. What do you mean?
What do you know? It's like Nino Chavez became deputy governor. City collapses a month later. 5 years go by.
Nuclear bomb goes off from the middle of the city and resets everything.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, Barrett, I gotta get the cooking. All right. You take care. All right.
Yeah. Thanks, Nino.
Bye. Listen, guys, I gotta protect my character. You know, it's too close to a potential 5-0. It can't be the in the you know. No. Oh fuck, man! I wonder who's around. We've been fucking busy today, haven't we?